Welcome. This is Monday Church with Reverend Montclair. I am Reverend Montclair, and today is Monday, October 15th. The subject of today is Durga, Hindu Mother of the Universe. Today begins a festival honoring Durga, the Hindu Mother of the Universe, in India and in Nepal and other places that honor her. It is a festival celebrating her victory over evil in a 9-day battle. Thus, this struggle of good over evil is the focus for all devotees of Durga. In India's Devi Atharvashivrisha, doing my best here, Vedic text, Durga is defined as she who is renowned by the name Durga, is the being superior to whom no one exists. Durga appears in Hindu theology in numerous forms and is known by many names and characteristics. All are aspects of the one goddess Durga, protective mother goddess of the universe. Her influence and followers are found beyond India and Nepal in Indonesia, Cambodia, Vietnam, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka as well. She is also known as a goddess of war and strength. Any woman who takes up a cause to fight for goodness and justice is said to have the spirit of Durga in her. Durga is known as the warrior goddess, protector of all that is good and harmonious in the world. She is sometimes referred to as the one who eliminates suffering. Durga's face is always depicted as calm and serene, evidence of the belief that Durga's violence is not from ego, anger, hatred, or pleasure in violence, but from necessity, only to protect those who depend on her, to protect the good, and to free those oppressed. Durga destroys selfishness, jealousy, prejudice, hatred, anger, and ego. Her name means fort, or unapproachable, unassailable. Her left eye represents desire, symbolized by the moon. Her right eye represents action, symbolized by the sun. And her third eye represents knowledge, symbolized by fire. She rides on the back of a lion or a tiger, representing freedom from fear, power and will, determination, and mastery over will. She has been depicted as having 8 to 18 arms. In each hand, she carries a weapon. In one hand, it is the conch shell, symbol of the mystic word Om, thus holding God with sound. The bow and arrow are in another hand, symbol of energy, potential, and kinetic. The thunderbolt, symbolic of firmness in one's convictions, is in yet another hand. The lotus, not yet in full bloom, symbol of certainty of success. And in the fifth arm, the beatific discus, symbol of her having the world wrapped around her finger. The sword in the sixth hand, symbol of knowledge and truth. The seventh, the trident, symbol of inactivity, activity, and non-activity, used to alleviate physical, mental, and spiritual suffering. The eighth one I did not take down in my notes, so I offer the mirror as another symbol of knowing ourselves. Durga's aspects range from terrifying and destructive to benevolent and nurturing. Some of her other names or aspects are Kumari, goddess of fertility, Lakshmi, goddess of wealth, and Kali, goddess of destruction and death. From the Devi Suktam, hymn of the Rig Veda, it reads, Durga speaking here, I am the queen, the gatherer up of treasures, most thoughtful, first of those who merit worship. Through me alone all eat the food that feeds them. Each who sees, breathes, hears the word outspoken. They know it not, yet I reside in the essence of the universe. Hear, one and all, the truth as I declare it. I verily myself announce and utter the word that gods and men alike shall welcome. I created earth and heaven and reside as their inner controller. On the world's summit I bring forth Sky the Father. My home is in the waters, in the ocean, as mother. Thence I pervade all of existing creatures as their inner supreme self, and manifest them with my body. I created all worlds at my will, without any higher being, and permeate and dwell within them. The eternal and infinite consciousness is I. It is my greatest dwelling in everything. From an article called History of Shaktism, which is the worship of goddesses, or goddess, the goddess, the earliest archaeological evidence of what appears to be an Upper Paleolithic shrine for Shakti worship was discovered in India, dated between 9000 BC and 8000 BC. Some forms of the goddess are widely known in the Hindu world. The commonly known goddess of Shaktism, popular in the Hindu thought, at least by about mid-first millennium CE, include Parvati, Durga, Kali, Yogamaya, Lakshmi, and Saraswati, and others. Hindus of all denominations today celebrate Navaratri, Festival of 9 Nights, the festival that worships the Navadurgas forms of Devi, goddess. The last 4 days of Navaratri are called Durga Puja, celebrating Durga's victorious slaying of Mahishasura, the buffalo demon. Navaratri is also called a harvest festival. Shaktas also celebrate 2 other Navaratris honoring the goddess, one in spring and one in summer. Diwali, the festival of lights marking the Hindu New Year, which is marked by the new moon in either October or November. Lakshmi, Parvati, or Kali, depending on the region and tradition, is the aspect of Durga, or Devi, associated with this festival. It is important to note, Shaktism, focus on the divine female, does not imply a rejection of the male. It does reject, however, dualism, as in belief in the opposites of male, female, or soul, body, and considers nature as divine. Devi, or goddess, is considered to be the cosmos itself. She is the embodiment of energy, matter, and soul, the motivating force behind all action and existence in the material universe. From the text of the Devi Bhagavata Purana, these words, I am manifest divinity, unmanifest divinity, and transcendent divinity. I am Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, which are male aspects, as well as Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Parvati, female aspects. I am the sun and I am the stars. I am also the moon. I am all animals and all birds, and I am the outcast as well. I am female, I am male. The goddess of Hinduism contrasts greatly with the mother goddess of Western Christian theology, who is primarily identified as a meek, ever-loving, patiently suffering, virginal, perfect woman. If we identify ourselves with the static concept of sinner, we may feel we need this ever-loving, accepting, and ever-suffering counterpart to forgive us, embrace us, and to suffer and cry for us. However, if we embrace the idea that we have agency, choice, responsibility for our actions, thoughts, and deeds, that we are not static beings, perhaps Durga is worth looking at through metaphorical eyes to assist us with our own growth, evolution, and transformation. Through metaphor, we can view Durga as the self within and the divine creator of everything in our adult lives. Psychologically, Durga is the defender and initiator of the beginning of the soul's journey to creative freedom. Her weapons in Shakta Hinduism represent, number 1, self-discipline, 2, selfless service to others, self-examination, prayer, devotion, remembering mantras, cheerfulness, and meditation. In life, what happens when we exercise self-discipline? When we give to others from our hearts? When we are able to reflect on our actions, words, and deeds to understand the impact we, with our agency, have on our lives and the lives of others. When we focus our thoughts on the positive we would like to manifest in our life, as opposed to the fears we can get lost in. When we devote our whole being to an ideal, like being loving, truthful, kind. When we choose to reinforce our focus with repetition of the good, orderly direction we have chosen. When we are grateful and appreciative, thus cheerful. When we care for our physical and emotional selves through meditation, what happens? We live our lives as adults that have taken responsibility for our lives. We stop seeing ourselves as victims, needing rescuing, and we become a light, a beacon, a reservoir of wisdom, a healing presence in the world. From a woman writer named Deborah Hall, this fragment from her poem, Wrapping Ceremony. It is a daily discipline to choose how much of the world's darkness we touch and why. We could be incandescent with righteous rage every second of every minute of every hour. Our collective grief could raise the sea level overnight. But sworn enemy of joy, we can't take ecocide with us on every walk, even though it whines and scratches at the door. It is joy, too, we are here to spend. It is celebration and active reverence that gives us energy, the courage to make our most difference. So, we actively seek out the silver lining. Brené Brown, researcher and author on the subject of vulnerability and joy, in her book, Daring Greatly, states, as children, we found ways to protect ourselves from vulnerability, from being hurt, diminished, and disappointed. We put on armor. We used our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors as weapons. And we learned how to make ourselves scarce, even to disappear. Now, as adults, we realize that to live with courage, purpose, and connection, to be the person whom we long to be, we must again be vulnerable. We must take off the armor, put down the weapons, show up, and let ourselves be seen. She also says, once we've worn the armor long enough, it molds to our shape and is ultimately undetectable, like a second skin. And I add here, our armor, our defenses, are often so habitually ingrained reactions to perceived threats that they may be invisible even to ourselves. Brené offers 3 simple mantras to undo the need to armor up. Number 1, the mantra, I am enough. This is about worthiness versus shame. Number 2, I've had enough, which is about boundaries versus comparison. And 3, showing up, taking risks, and letting myself be seen is enough. So that is engagement versus disengagement. She states we all struggle with vulnerability. She cites 3 common forms of shielding. One is perfectionism. It's an armor against shame. Numbing, the embrace of whatever deadens the pain of discomfort and fear. And 3, one she calls foreboding joy, or the paradoxical dread that squelches joy whenever we begin to feel joy. Again, Brené offers solutions. 1, self-kindness. In other words, she quotes, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. 2, setting boundaries, accepting feelings as normal. 3, practicing gratitude, reminding yourself of all the real good in your life, which will help combat the false fears. Durga's festival marks the victory of goddess Durga in her battle against the shape-shifting Asura Mahishasura, of good over evil, but also a harvest festival celebrated by all. The Devi, I know, this page is not to be read. So I'm going to back up here. What I wanted to speak about here is that the idea of fear is in the Devi Mahatmya Hindu scripture describes the nature of evil forces, symbolized by Mahishasura as shape-shifting, deceptive, adapting in nature, in form, and in strategy to create difficulties to achieve evil ends. So that's not unlike the coronavirus, which shapeshifts and changes form. It is not unlike warmongers that choose different targets and different strategies. It is not unlike cancer that spreads throughout the body. So evil is also very much like and created by fear. Anywhere in the world where fear is entrenched, you can pretty well find there's lots of evil that springs from it. Durga is well represented in this poem by Jennifer Hyland called When She Dances. She is peacock feather and cockatiel. She is honey dripping from the comb. She is water buffalo planting her feet. She is the whole forest swaying. She is the spiral pulse of smoke. She is the wave that ambushes the shore. She is the glacier thundering into the bay. She is the whole forest falling. She is the quiver deep in the frog's throat. She is pollen rising like mist. She is candle flame over water. She is the whole forest singing. That's it for today. See you next week on Monday Church with Reverend Montclair. I'll leave you with this prayer, my favorite. It is the Diné Navajo Beauty Way prayer. May you walk in beauty, with beauty before you, with beauty behind you, with beauty above you, with beauty below, with beauty all around you. May you walk. Blessed be. Till next week. Thank you.